Welcome back to our channel, where we delve into the fascinating world of psychology and uncover tricks that will completely change your perspective on life. Get ready to have your mind blown as we explore 10 psychological hacks that will revolutionize the way you see the world. The power of priming. Have you ever noticed how certain smells or sounds can instantly transport you back to a specific memory or evoke a particular emotion? That's the power of priming at work. Research has shown that subtle cues in our environment can activate related thoughts and feelings, influencing our behavior without us even realizing it. For example, studies have found that exposure to words associated with aging can actually make people walk slower, demonstrating the profound impact of priming on our actions. But priming doesn't just affect our behavior. It can also shape our perceptions of the world around us. By understanding the power of priming, you can become more aware of how your environment influences your thoughts and behaviors, allowing you to make more conscious choices and take control of your mental landscape. The illusion of choice. In today's world, we're bombarded with endless options for everything from toothpaste to career paths. While choice may seem like a luxury, too much of it can actually lead to decision paralysis and dissatisfaction. Psychologists refer to this phenomenon as the paradox of choice, where an abundance of options can overwhelm our cognitive resources and make it harder to make decisions. Moreover, marketers and advertisers are well aware of the illusion of choice and use it to their advantage. By strategically presenting options and framing them in a certain way, they can influence consumer behavior and steer people towards specific products or services. But fear not. By understanding the psychology behind the illusion of choice, you can learn to navigate decision-making more effectively and avoid falling prey to manipulative tactics. The halo effect. They say you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and that's because of the halo effect. This cognitive bias causes us to perceive individuals or things positively in one aspect, leading us to assume they excel in other areas as well. For example, a person who is physically attractive may be perceived as more intelligent or trustworthy, simply because of their appearance. But the halo effect isn't limited to physical attractiveness. It can also manifest in other ways, such as brand reputation or social status. From celebrities to politicians, the halo effect shapes our perceptions of people and influences our judgments, often leading to biased decision-making. However, by recognizing the halo effect and consciously challenging our assumptions, we can become more discerning in our evaluations and make more informed decisions. Cognitive dissonance. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where your actions contradict your beliefs? That uncomfortable feeling you experience is cognitive dissonance at work. This psychological phenomenon occurs when there's a disconnect between what we believe and how we behave, causing tension and discomfort. For example, imagine you consider yourself an environmentally conscious person, but you frequently drive a gas-guzzling SUV. This inconsistency between your beliefs and actions creates cognitive dissonance, prompting you to either change your behavior by driving less or switching to a more eco-friendly vehicle, or rationalize your actions by convincing yourself that your individual choices don't make a significant impact on the environment. Anchoring bias. Imagine you're negotiating the price of a used car. The seller throws out an initial asking price that seems exorbitantly high, even though you know it's too much. That number, known as an anchor, subconsciously influences your perception of what constitutes a reasonable offer. This is the anchoring bias at work. Anchoring bias occurs when our judgments are disproportionately influenced by the first piece of information we encounter, even when it's arbitrary or irrelevant. Whether it's estimating the length of a line or the value of a product, our brains tend to latch onto the initial anchor and adjust our subsequent judgments accordingly. But understanding anchoring bias can help you make more rational decisions. The Pygmalion Effect. The Pygmalion Effect demonstrates the power of expectations in shaping reality. named after the mythological sculptor who fell in love with his own creation. This psychological phenomenon suggests that believing in someone's potential can actually improve their performance. For example, imagine a teacher who holds high expectations for a student. Because of these expectations, the teacher provides extra support and encouragement, which in turn boosts the student's confidence and motivation. As a result, the student works harder and achieves better academic outcomes, thus confirming the teacher's initial expectations. By harnessing the power of the Pygmalion Effect, you can inspire greatness in yourself and others, leading to positive outcomes and personal growth. Social proof. Humans are social creatures, and we often look to others for guidance in uncertain situations. This is where social proof comes into play. Whether it's following the crowd or relying on reviews, we tend to trust the wisdom of the crowd to inform our decisions. For example, imagine you're trying to choose a restaurant for dinner. You notice one restaurant has a long line out the door, while another is nearly empty. Despite knowing nothing about either restaurant, you're more likely to choose the one with the long line, assuming it must be better because others have chosen it. From fake reviews to herd mentality, there are plenty of pitfalls to be aware of. By understanding the psychology behind social proof and critically evaluating the information presented to you, you can make more informed decisions and avoid being swayed by the crowd. Reciprocity. Ever received a gift from someone and felt obligated to return the favor? That's the power of reciprocity at work. This social norm dictates that we should repay others for their kindness, fostering goodwill and cooperation in society. For example, imagine a colleague brings you a cup of coffee out of the blue. Even though you didn't ask for it, you feel compelled to reciprocate the gesture by doing something nice for them in return. This reciprocal exchange strengthens social bonds and builds trust between individuals, creating a sense of mutual obligation and reciprocity. By understanding the power of reciprocity, you can strengthen your relationships and cultivate a spirit of generosity and goodwill in your interactions with others. Framing effect. Words matter more than you think, especially when it comes to framing. This cognitive bias demonstrates how the same information can be presented in different ways to evoke different reactions. For example, imagine you're considering a medical procedure with a 90% success rate. If it's framed as having a 10% failure rate, you're more likely to perceive it as risky and hesitate to proceed. But if it's framed as having a 90% success rate, you're more likely to view it as safe and opt for the procedure. By understanding the psychology behind framing, you can become more aware of how language shapes perceptions and make more deliberate choices. Whether it's framing a message positively to inspire action or negatively to highlight risks, framing can be a powerful tool for persuasion and communication. Confirmation bias. We all have a tendency to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs while ignoring evidence that contradicts them. This is known as confirmation bias, and it can distort our perceptions and judgments, leading to flawed decision-making. For example, imagine you have a strong belief in the benefits of a certain diet. You're more likely to seek out articles and studies that support your beliefs while dismissing or ignoring evidence that challenges them. This confirmation bias reinforces your existing beliefs and prevents you from considering alternative perspectives. By recognizing the influence of confirmation bias and actively seeking out diverse perspectives and evidence, you can overcome this cognitive bias and make more informed decisions. Whether it's staying open-minded in discussions or critically evaluating information sources, challenging confirmation bias is essential for cultivating intellectual honesty and rational thinking. And there you have it. 10 psychological tricks that will completely revolutionize how you see the world. So go forth with newfound knowledge and curiosity, and may your journey of self-discovery be filled with wonder and insight. Like, share, and subscribe if you liked this video. Until next time, stay curious.